The better adapted an animal is to its environment, the more likely it is to survive and reproduce. Bodo dolphin use echolocation, which they inherited from their ocean ancestors. But to navigate the dark, tangled rivers they live in, they've developed movable vertebrae that allow their heads to twist in many directions. In the Namibian viper and North American sidewinder, we see how two completely different species on completely separate continents have solved the need to cross hot sand in the same way. Twice a day, tidal waters leave the mudskipper fish high and dry. It's evolved special skin to absorb oxygen from the air and keeps its gills wet with a mouthful of water. The blue shark adapted to its ocean environment 350 million years ago and has changed little since. With eyes that reflect light for nocturnal feeding, a cute smell and taste that scents injured fish miles away, and pores that detect the electricity generated by living creatures, they are the perfect predator. Every year, Arctic terns travel between 15 and 20,000 miles, further than any other migrating animal. They spend the northern summers in the Arctic and the southern summers in the Antarctic, flying across the world in search of food and the right conditions for breeding. Arctic terns spend more time in daylight than any other animal. Avoiding the long, dark winter months at the poles, they see the sunset only when they pass through the tropics and across the equator. Terns from different places take different routes, but they all tend to travel along continental coasts and take advantage of the prevailing seasonal winds. The freshwater eels of Europe and northern Africa spend most of their lives in streams and rivers, but are born and die over 4,000 miles away in salt water. After hatching in the Sargasso Sea, the eel larvae are carried across the Atlantic Ocean by the Gulf Stream and the North Atlantic Drift. On this 3.5-year journey, the transparent leaf-shaped larvae grow from 1/4 inch to almost 3 inches in length. On reaching the coast of Europe, they metamorphose into young eels, called elvers, before swimming into the streams and rivers. The mature eels stay in the fresh water for 4 to 10 years before returning to the Sargasso Sea to spawn and finally die. During ice ages, temporary land bridges may form, enabling animals to cross between previously isolated continents and islands. These bridges are exposed as the ice grows and sea levels drop. Here you can see the Bering Straits land bridge that joined North America and Northeast Russia during the last major ice age at its height 21,000 years ago. Ancestors of today's camels and horses started out in North America. They came to Asia, Europe, and Africa across the Bering Straits Bridge. Bison, mammoths, and wolves, even humans, crossed in the opposite direction. These migrations have had a big impact on the distribution and evolution of animals around the globe. "55 million years ago, the ancestors of today's elephants were small, heavy animals without trunks. Since then, they have evolved and adapted in response to changing environmental pressures. As the wet, swampy forest became drier and gave way to grassland savanna, elephant species grew in size. Their legs straightened to bear their greater weights. Their noses turned into long, prehensile trunks that enabled them to browse on trees and reach grass and water. In 55 million years, there have been many different species of elephant living all over the world, but today only two survive, the Indian elephant and the African elephant. This globe shows how average temperatures around the world change over the year. Animals respond in a number of ways. They grow different coats, hibernate, migrate, and breed in time with these changes. Many of those living in the mid or temperate latitudes give birth to their young as the temperatures begin to rise in spring or early summer. Temperature variations are larger in the mid-latitudes than at the equator or the poles. Looking at Africa and the Americas, you can see the red band of hot weather move north and south over the equator, in time with summer in the northern and southern hemispheres. Ocean temperatures vary less than those over land because water takes longer than air to heat and cool, which makes the oceans a more stable environment for life.